And there is an upstairs. Okay. Okay. More valuables? Question mark? Possibly. Room over here. It turns out there's a pretty big area. I thought those were people. Not gonna lie. Thought those were people that were just like giving us the look of like, really, dude? Coming in just to steal our stuff? Golden candelabrum. I think that's the first. Laura Darn and the Krieganon of Lod. I feel like that's new. More gold as well. Die remover. Okay. Let's read this. Love knows no bounds, saying claims. History knows no better proof of this adage than the romance between Laura Darn and Kriegnon of Lod. Have we read this before? I don't think we have. She, a powerful elven mage, bearer of the Elder Blood, promised to the great Avalok. He, a human mage of great talent and humble birth. What? She, able to live centuries, if not millennia. He, likely to live no longer than 70 years and 10, like each of us. They should have hated each other, scorned each other. Instead, they burned from one another with powerful love. Heedless to the war raging around them, to the condemnations and curses raining down on them from all sides, they led a humble and happy life. Soon, Lara was with child. A babe born of Lara and Kriegnon might have joined the best of both races, united them at long last. Alas, this was not to be. Humans considered Kriegnon a traitor and a renegade. They demanded he abandon Lara, and when he refused, they decided to murder them both. Kriegnon died, while Lara, still heavy with child, escaped with her life. She ran to Tredegor to beg succor and support from Ciro, Queen of Redania. What then came to pass? Here elven and human sources diverge, presenting two irreconcilable versions. There we go. According to the chroniclers of the Anshe, her pleas did not soften the stony Dwan hearts, the hearts of merciless and cruel humans. When Lara, pleading for mercy, if not for her, then at least for her child, clutched onto the door of the royal carriage, the queen ordered her maimer to strike with his sword and cut off her fingers. Guess that's why they call him the maimer. That night, crushed by a fierce frost, Lara breathed her last sigh on a hill in the woods, giving birth to a daughter whom she protected with the fading embers of her own warmth. Human legends, however, have Sarah saying, "Ask not me for grace, ask instead those whom you have harmed with your magic. Brave you were when you wrought those foul deeds, brave be you now when the pursuit of justice nears. Your sins are not in my power to forgive." In reply, Lara said, "My doom is at hand, but yours, Queen, is also nigh. Remember Lara Darn is in that terrible hour, Queen. Remember her death and her curse. And know that my curse will hound you and your seed to the 10th generation will it damn your line. Wherein lies the truth cannot be said. Both versions are surely false, for both seek to blacken their enemy. Sad is Lara's end. Hate between races, which Kriegnon wished so badly to end, is now so strong that its darkness has forever obscured the truth of her fate." I think that's new. I think these are all just our contracts, although this... Ducal Chronicle, Tome, whatever stuff. In the month preceding the celebration surrounding the festival of the the ducal couple and delegation of notables embarked on a neighborly visit to the court of Queen Calanthe of Sintra. The visit had both a social and political dimension. The Duchess was hoping Queen Calanthe, I have no idea how to pronounce her name, would follow the dictates of international protocol and repay with a visit of her own, preferably during the above-mentioned festival, thus gracing the celebration with her royal presence. The ducal couple was accompanied by both daughters, Sienna and Anarietta. We've heard Anarietta. I don't think we've heard about Sienna. It is worth mentioning here that both infants are sprouting like bean poles, and it shall not belong before it will be necessary to find them husbands. In the case of the elder daughter, Sienna, okay, the elder daughter, that really, I mean, I guess I don't know exactly how the whole lineage of dukes and duchesses works, but I would have thought that the elder child would have been the first one to inherit the title. So I would think that if anything, Sienna would be the duchess, not Henrietta. Okay, don't know what to make of that. Did Sienna die or disappear? This should not prove a problem, as suitors will flock from all over the civilized world for the chance to be husband to the future duchess, especially when they see her portrait, which will not even require such embellishment. Admitting that there will be some embellishment, but it won't need to be too much, okay? Things are somewhat different in the case of young Henrietta. Oh, so yes, they are saying that they were expecting Sienna to be the duchess, but of course we know that currently Henrietta is. So things will be somewhat different for young Henrietta, who is overly thin and furthermore auburn-haired. Oh, the worst, right? Hope remains, however. Time will add to her charms. As for character and imagination, neither girl is lacking in either quality in the least. They both, I'm sure, are fine
Someone needs
women.
an escort. Not something I do often, but might be worth investigating.
Pretty sure that was just Harold's summarizing one of the notices we got from contract that we'd already read on the board. Don't think that was in response to that most recent thing that we were actually reading out loud. Top floor? Question mark? False teeth? Gross. Ink armor dye. Now we're talking. Harold's is looking to style things up big time. Silver casket. Probably break that one down as well. And match shade of time. Thanks for the follow. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Let's head out of here. I think we've gotten everything in this establishment. What is this guy doing? Looks like he's proposing. Oh, no. That is because we could not see his instrument from that angle. Alright, fair enough. You got me. You got me. Alright, let's head over in this direction. And of course, we'll see if we end up running into anything along the way. But I think we have been at least around this specific path.
That's always free.
Oh! Apologies. Here? More to... Whoa! Yes, indeed, more to loot. Absolutely. Tons of silver, tons of gold. We'll take it all. Thank you very much. This might be similar to the previous house we saw, that there could be potentially numerous floors here as well. I was wondering where the music went. It's back now. Maybe after, scoffing at that musician outside. That, may have changed things up a little bit. There, I think we might have seen 2 new books for us as well. Fall of Hubert Ballast? In the sun-drenched Duchy of Toussaint, near the Coronata Vineyard, lay the estate of Baronet Hubert Ballasty, who knows. An honorable knight in the service of Duchess Audemarta. Okay, that presumably was a previous duchess. Hubert served as a knight-errant for many years, and vows were his greatest delight. He swore to do things so grand they curdled blood of other knights. The Duchess finally recognized his courage, not only awarded him with an honorary title, but also granted him land. Hubert thus had a place of his own on which to settle down and wait till his time came with dignity. He could find himself a wife and sire descendants as befits every self-respecting hero. Unfortunately, once he had laid down his sword and shield, Baronet Ballast began to seek other diversions, and so he indulged in games of card and dice, and at times even bet on dogfights. Then one day, when fortune abandoned him, he decided to bet not 1 or 2 gold pouches, but in fact his family's entire estate. Yeah, don't do that. And he lost everything. To add to this already unhappy state of affairs, Hubert Belast, who was not one to take defeat lightly, flew into a fit of blind passion. Yeah, you know, if you lose your entire estate, that is probably something that would make you rather upset, and perhaps reason for not betting your entire estate to begin with. You know? Donned his armor and enlisted at once. Fortune, alas, smiled no more favorably upon him at war than it did at play, and an arrow found its way to Hubert's leg. I was about to make an arrow to the knee joke, and then they beat me to it. And then he died. Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't look that one up. I think there was another book that we saw that was also new, and, I mean, we're getting just a bunch of new reading material here. I mean, oh, bestiary. Ah, okay. This might be about, well, some actual beasts here. As a young adept of the art of medicine, I was once asked by my mentor, Nurse Hatched, to gather some herbs needed for, poultices. I set out for the woods and sought ripe specimens, when all of a sudden, a juniper shrub began to swish and shake. It must be a Leshen or another monster of some sort, enraged by my insolent theft of forest treasures, I thought. Luckily, it turned out the beast was no Leshen, but a little panther. That's good news? I mean, Leshens are fearsome opponents, yes, but the panther I'm not sure is any safer. Full of pity, I decided to share the bread and dried meat I brought in my bundle with the cub. From that moment on, I brought the panther something to eat every day, and every day it waited for me next to the juniper. A year passed. This panther is eating this person by the end of the story, right? A year passed, and the panther grew so big I was afraid to approach it. Rightfully so. So I would just throw bits of meat and leave as quickly as possible. Then the sickness left me bedridden for a month. When I was finally back on my feet, I went to the woods to the juniper shrub. My beloved panther, now as big as a horse, only roared from afar. I bolted. Panthers are beautiful animals. They are quite fascinating as well. But I value my life, and that is that. Yeah, exactly. Okay, more bestiary entries. Oh, on Alps and Bruxay, perhaps? Or, no, Alps are Bruxay's dangerous cousin. Now, remind me... They are very similar, or at least based on The Witcher 1, they were very similar. And we faced one of them as a boss fight a little while ago, but I forget which one it was. Did we fight an Alp or did we fight a Bruxa? I think it was an Alp. Pretty sure it was an Alp, but I could be wrong. It was Bruxa? It was Bruxa, okay. But yeah, I imagine that means Alps are probably not far away. Inconsistencies that in no way correspond with what we already know about these dangerous vampires. My investigations have revealed that these seemingly erroneous accounts were in fact describing an Alp, not a Bruxan. There you have it, I'm not the only one. Not the only one who gets them confused sometimes. It is an extraordinary discovery, a true milestone in the classification of these monsters. Even though legend tells of these vampires turning into pitch-black hounds or venomous toads, personally, I do not believe an Alp is capable of such polymorphy. However, it is almost certain that, similar to a Bruxa, an Alp may transform itself into a beautiful woman. This ability allows the species to blend seamlessly into crowds. To think that I may have passed such a monster completely unawares, fascinating. One of the fundamental differences between Alps and Bruxae is their fighting style when in the form of a vampire. Alps also possess the ability to turn into fog, which allows them to move noiselessly and attack by surprise. Most likely, this is the root of the name common folk give them, fleetlings. Okay, so you're saying both of them can do that? That is concerning. Then Van Groot's amazing anti-fletter stratagem. I mean, these are all vampires. All types of vampires, and like I said, we fought a ton of all of these types of vampires in The Witcher 1. Then, I don't think we saw them at all in The Witcher 2. I think vampires, just for the most part, did not exist in The Witcher 2. Then Witcher 3, we got fair amounts of, the Ekimaras and couple of catechins, but none of the other ones that were so common in The Witcher 1, which was a little surprising. But based on the previous boss we fight and the descriptions we're hearing now from all these books here, I think that's quickly going to change. Fletters are a vile and unsophisticated variety of vampire. Oh, you see, they're not nearly classy enough for us in Beauclair, unlike the Alps and Bruxelles. They are unable to run properly. You see, they will never compete in our esteemed Olympic tournaments because they do not run properly. They would immediately get disqualified, I'm afraid. Cannot bear direct sunlight in our... Well, that's... Okay, I suppose. Fair enough. Yes, but that is so stereotypical of vampires. And are generally none too wise. Some fletters hunt alone, whereas others prefer to attack in groups. Perhaps it is a matter of instinct. Having sensed blood, they assess the size of the victim and, if necessary, summon their kin. The only strong suit of these leeches is their ability to leap toward a potential victim. Fighting a fletter is no different than fighting any other kind of bloodsucker. Apart from the obvious means, such as garlic, buckthorn, and sunlight, a hunter should stock up on silver. A lit torch may prove helpful as well. Oh! That's interesting. Deliberately fighting with a torch? We've done that so rarely. I mean, we almost never used a torch. Only on a couple occasions did we make it happen. But for there to actually be a combat-based reason to do so is an interesting prospect. Because when you're wielding the torch, you can't use heavy attacks, right? You can only do quick attacks. Generally speaking, I use almost exclusively light attacks. So it's not a huge handicap. But it is interesting. Interesting to consider. And I think that's the last of the new books here, by the looks of things. Not seeing any stars next to the other ones. But I think, yeah, we're going to get Panthers, we're going to get Alps, we're going to get Fletters probably. Yep, bestiary entries added for those. And then just get more valuables. Yeah. And there are the books that we're used to seeing. Those are the common ones. This person has like a bazillion fancy schmancy outfits. Suppose is fitting if we are to believe that everyone here is rich. Got onions to fend off all those vampires that they were reading up on. Is this the top floor? It may be. Oh no, it is not. It is not. There is another staircase. They've even got their little art set up here. Oh, they're not just collecting art. They appear to be painting it. That is a blank easel. All the more power to you. Okay, yeah, a little bit more to loot. I mean, I do like how it felt like so often in the base game, we'd go into areas like this, we'd find a bunch of chests, and then most of them would just have complete junk, or even things that weren't technically listed as junk. They would be things that are worth, you know, maybe 5 coins apiece. And you say, is it really worth the effort to go through all these places just to find, you know, in total 20 coins worth of stuffs? Maybe not. But I mean, on this occasion when we're getting a bunch of gold and silver jewelry, it certainly feels like it's worth a lot more. Let's see, never have you seen such a tournament, for such a tournament's never been held. All lovers of Gwent are invited to come compete against players from all over the world. In addition, this tournament shall be your chance to play the new and exciting Skellige faction. Count Monnier will be expecting you at the Pheasantry. We've, of course, already heard about that.
What do you want?
What do you want? Oh, he's a thug.
I'll never be sober.
Okay, now this is interesting. Definitely starting to look different in this area of the city. Fences bent out of shape. I think we are on the edge of town right now. At the Otis Gate. And here is the cemetery we're looking for. Let's save. It's been a while since we last saved. And so we're searching... Actually, have we read up on this quest in full? If not, then let's do that now. Because this is the one that came from Yen's note. Searched Moreau's grave at the cemetery using our Witcher senses. It was a warm summer evening, or perhaps a cool yet sunny morning? The weather and time are of no importance. What matters is that day, Geralt received a letter from Yennefer, who informed him about a most unusual discovery she'd recently made. She'd found a mention of research conducted by a Professor Moreau on Witcher mutations. It seemed this professor's workshop could be found in Toussaint. Geralt, realizing the importance of this discovery, decided to find this laboratory. The first step would be to find the professor's journal, which, according to Yen, had been buried with him. So, are we digging up the dead here? 'Cause that's not gonna be great. Yeah, that's an interesting thing about The Witcher 2 was I liked it a lot, but some characters came back and made some pretty significant appearances in The Witcher 3. People like Vernon Roche probably at the top of that list. But then, on the other hand, Yorveth was a huge character, and yet he's not shown up once at all. I mean, Witcher 2 spoilers to a certain extent, but there are definitely some reasons for that, but would have hoped that he would at least make a brief appearance. There are some Drowner-like enemies here. Let's maybe just get rid of them, and then we will investigate this area further. They are actually Drowners. Level 35 Drowners at that, which is pretty strong, as Drowners go. Like, excuse me, sir. You had precisely 1 HP? That is against the rules? That is against the Geneva Convention of Witchering and monster hunting? Oh, there's actually guarded treasure here, as it turns out. My guess is that you were the ones guarding it. Then you had the nerve to not drop anything when we took you out. At least that one did. What's this? I hope that's not the guarded treasure. That was rather uninspiring. It's probably this guy. Is this guy Shay Liad? Sodden letter, an ornate key. Alright, what do we have in this letter? Letter is soaked through and falling apart, can barely be read. Bruce, don't do anything stupid. I mean, this guy is dead, so already step ahead of us there. I know you buried Selena at the Beauclair Cemetery along with the rest of the loot from our last heist. Remember, we deserve a cut of that too. Don't be an idiot. We all know you were her lover, but remember, she was also the leader of our gang, and that's what really counts. We never got our share for knocking over that jeweler Mothenberg's shop. So burying Selena with all the loot is pure silliness. Those treasures belong to us all. Let's meet up and split things in an honest fashion. Then you can go down yourself in the lake or hang yourself from any branch you choose. Ooh. Okay. That does sound like a treasure hunt, I would think. Just nab the loot from this stuff. Solid knife, not to be confused with other forms of knives that are quite different. Here are the bees. Where are the bees? Not the bees? There's a bee. Can't tell me there isn't a bee. Oh, what? Where'd that come from? Wasn't fog there? So, like, kind of blended in with the green ferns. I couldn't even tell. So we were coughing up. Well, I don't know. So we were taking damage from it. Okay, but now we're looking for, well, probably this right here, right? Let's maybe save first. They scrapped Yorveth last minute, really? They had concept art and a model form and everything. Interesting. Because he was, I mean, he was, depending on the decisions you made in The Witcher 2, top 5, probably, in terms of most significant characters there, at least top 10. Let's see. Almas Moreau, Professor, yeah? Then words that I do not know.
Inscriptions in Elder speech. Salvation lies not in Dolnevde, but in our hearts. Glory be to Eldarin.
Okay. Also looks like, well, we weren't the first ones to dig up his grave.
Damn. Professor's journal's long gone. Guess somebody else found out about it too. Should look around, see if I can find something else.
Okay. Oh, well, like this, for example?
Footprints. Narrow and shallow. Somebody's small, light. Woman, maybe? Wonder where they lead.
Okay, anything else around here first, or is that basically all there is to it? I feel like that's probably all there is to it. Yeah, let's head back. Okay. Where'd he go?
Damn it. Trail breaks off. Wonder if the grave robber learned more than I did.
Use your Witcher senses to look for clues about the location of Professor Moreau's laboratory, okay? Oh, back here? Huh?
Professor certainly can't do much to help me with my search. Won't learn anything else here. Map Yen sent me will have to do. Also, Epitaph mentioned both Eldarin and Dolnevde, Valley of the Nine.
Okay. Check the location of Nevda on the map Yennefer sent us. Okay. I assume that means we're... What is? Oh, we can actually... What? We can use dyes to change the color of your armor? That's a thing? It's actually a thing. Remember, you can only change the color of items belonging to your Witcher gear sets. Okay, so it can't be everything. But that is still an intriguing option, because yeah, in the Witcher gear sets, we aren't currently using one, but generally we were using them for a long time. Mostly the cat school stuff. And I was a little bit critical of the aesthetics of it. I thought that despite it being statistically the armor that we preferred to use, it did not look terribly good. So maybe by switching around the colors a little bit, we can find a way to make it look a little better. You can use the preview option to see how an item will look after you apply a dye to it. That's cool. To do this, select the dye, press A and select the item you wish to dye. At any time, you can use dye remover to restore an item's original color. So there's no need to be timid. Go ahead and experiment. Cool. What if we just, well, see what the cat school stuff looks like? Because we do have it on us right now. And I think it's gotten a little bit better looking as we've upgraded it. But, like, if we do this... See, what color was this? This was the pink? Meh. Turquoise? I don't know. Green? Maybe? I don't know. I'm not loving any of those, really. Oh, what's this one here? Ray? Nah. That looks pretty bad. I don't know. I think anything is just going to be kind of hard to match with the green, or with the brown on the boots, but I mean, this kind of gives you a foresty vibe, so this might be my preference, but I don't know. We'll stick with the New Moon stuff for the moment anyway, and we'll see if we pick up any additional dyes in the future. And if and when we do switch back to Witcher gear, then we'll experiment a little bit more and see if we have some good dyes to use then. So we, though, were looking to read the map that Yennefer sent us, which I'm assuming is a quest item here. We had not yet investigated. What is this? A junk book. We can't even read it. It has no contents. Is this it? Old map of Toussaint? This is probably it. Centuries old map of Toussaint. Okay. Maybe that was it? Let's close out and see if that did the trick.
Site marked on the map's all wet now. San Retour flows through there. Must be where the Valley of the Nine once lay. Need to explore the location.
Okay, so that did do the trick. Gravestones are usually really funny, and we can read the other ones. Okay, let's at least check some of them out then. See, maybe let's do this a little bit more systematically. Let's start at one of the corners and then work our way around. So it is this side. Martin Blanche, head of the Beauclair League of Bards. Okay, relatively normal. Philip Tisserand, collector of Witcher blades. Only had one, but tried very hard. Sorry, Philip. La Hrondelle, princess from a land far across the seas. I mean, are some of these play on words? I don't know what Hrondelle is supposed to be a reference to in that case. David Triage, died as he lived, quietly. Okay. There is more poison cloudy stuff over here. Not sure if there's actually anything over here of interest. Besides the freaking bees that keeps on buzzing in our ears. It's annoying. See this one? Pierre, maybe, and Alexandra, perhaps, barely knew each other, and their love was all the deeper for it. Okay, that's a strange one. Yeah. See, did we get you? I don't think we did. Patrick Mullins talked himself to death. Oh, that's one way to go. Martin Calicott, killed by his own ambition. These are not actually gravestones, okay. That's the quest-related one. Did we start with you, or did we start the one up higher? Christian Currit. Mistranslation, misunderstanding, misfortune. Is that how he died? Nicholas Swade. Come on, one more for the road. No, it is this side here. Caroline Satire. Just what you don't freaking understand, you freaking thing, she said to her cat when it refused to fetch a stick, working her into a fatal rage. She just couldn't take it when her cat would not fetch the stick. And that was the end of her. That was the end of her. Marquise de Daniche. Wait, I can explain everything. And then died. So much for explaining everything. There are a lot of them. Wow. Christophe Chu traveled from Thetis to the continent. Found it so much to his liking, he stayed until he died. Okay. Dominique Gonch, slave driver, fell during an uprising of her charges. Matthias Duda, knight, kind-hearted to friends, vicious to enemies. I mean, this... sure? Blaise Augustin, or Augustine, philosopher, stared at the stars once too often. Oh man, what happened? What happened? Was it actually a UFO that swooped down and zapped you with some laser beams? Alexandre Le Bien Aimé died while attempting to rob Jacob the woodcutter. Jacob was not having it. Yeah, one problem with robbing a woodcutter, if they are currently armed with their hatchet, they are probably going to fight back. Rigor Laver, stabbed by an unsatisfied customer. Oh man. That's what you get for unsatisfactory service, I suppose. Amelie Kolat came from far off Azeroth and died during a Hans's raid. Did we get this one? We did. This one here. Madeline Zeech died hunched over her ledger, muttering, "Just one more table." Oh man. Worked too hard. Yeah, I think I still have this side as well, if these ones are readable, or they may not be. This one is. Arcadius Borokvi, or Borovic, actor, singer, ladies' man. One day, folk just couldn't take it anymore. It's a little too much. Little too much of that stuff. This one. Agnes Bednarska, administrator. Always graceful and elegant in bawling out bumblers and blowhards. Okay. Damien Momote, killed by some fellow named Bill. Hey, Buffalo. Michel Madiel, knight, fought battles on many fronts, but returned to croak in his homeland's bosom. Horus Pugnus Moral Fetiche. Not someone that people particularly liked. Pierre the Crooked Nose, steward of stewards. Did we get these here? I don't think so. Matthew Thomas died while playing cards. Too much Gwent. It'll be the death of you. Gregor Lesimor. Loving the rhyming names. I think we've had a few. Taken too soon by to the city of night. Yeah, there are so many of them. Gaspard de la Nute. Perished suddenly and unexpectedly. Perhaps a little bit of a play on words with his name. A crude one at that. We've seen Crooked Nose. Is this actually a grave in the middle here that we can read? It is. Pablo Markovsky, herbalist, died of a professional error. Gorged on poisonous plants. Yeah, that's a pretty bad one if you're an herbalist. You need to be kind of careful with that. You'd think that'd be a pretty high priority, is to not gorge on poisonous plants. Luc Lechonko, professional cattle wrangler. That's one way to put it. What is this? Oh, is that the fast travel spot? That is nifty looking. Let's see. I don't think we've gotten you. We're definitely going to miss some of these, because, like, these are all over the place. There's a ton of them. So I'm probably going to accidentally skip over some, but hopefully we get the general idea of some of them, of course. Jean-Luc Picard, great commander, even greater man. Oh, so wholesome. Compare that to the one where people are just bad-mouthing the dead. Gavroche, fell to the ground. We've been there, man. We've been there. Hashtag fall damage. Paul de Zax died at his post. Kaspar Poklovichsky, architect. I don't understand. What's the problem here? You ask me. In my opinion, when you look at it from this angle, it's not half bad, he said before the house collapsed on him. Phoenix Deviant, Anya Kubiak, Pierre Framboise. Together they lived, together they created, and together they died. Louder! They just, like, party too hard together? You get that one? No, Antoine Supreme. Joined one fight too many. Suppose you could say that of any warrior, any soldier, who dies in battle. Sarah Fauconnier. Don't drink that. Well, I think she did. Raphael Dejean. The new recruits always march in the front lines. Were you one of said new recruits? That might have been the end of you. To all those who perished for their duchy, we remember. Oh, that's sweet. Nimak Nap. Mortis... I mean, I don't know what any of those things mean. Pablo Savic, knight and handyman. There was no foe he couldn't unseat, nor door he couldn't fix. Sure? Get you? I don't think so. Thomas Carrot. Always wanted to come to his own funeral and did. That's a crazy one. Might be a couple more here, like you. Arnaud Hapanit. This dangerous killer long evaded the law. Died in prison, convicted of tax evasion. That's what you get for evading taxes. Matthias Inletul. Or Inletul style. You know what I mean. Came to Beauclair penniless, died a rich man's death. Huh? Mission accomplished? Question mark? Bartholomew de Hamatain. Or Hatamain. Died searching for the Promised Land. That's sad. Have we gotten this one? Yes, we did. Fall damage. I think that might be almost all of them, at least. But I can't say I have much interest in scrounging around to try to find the one or two that we might have missed. But there you have it. Yes, definitely some good ones. What would you say is the best one? I mean, fall damage was kind of funny. There are a few other clever ones. But if we are trying to get this quest done, then that means that we're searching for the entrance of the Professor's Laboratory in the Flooded Ruins, the Valley of the Nine. We have now learned is further east. Okay. Now, of course, we don't have any fast travel spots heading over there because, well, we've never been there. But we can start heading in that general direction. And given how much ground there is to cover there, I imagine we'll probably end up running into something along the way. This is probably going to have some form of event. There is this question mark as well that we'll probably end up getting to on our way over there as well.